Uh, let's switch to corporate conversations. And Joseph Anantharaju is joining us, co-chairman and CEO of Happiest Minds this morning, because what Happiest Minds has done is very surprising in an environment like this. They've hiked their FY27 growth guidance from 10% to 12.5%, and their FY28 growth guidance is now 15%. So on that higher base, they'll grow even stronger in FY28. Joseph, very good morning. Contextualize this for us. What's leading to the kind of bullish commentary that you're giving, and what are going to be the levers that are going to drive this growth going forward?
Yeah. So, if you see at the beginning of the current year, sometime in March, April of 2025, we had announced 10 transformations. And at that point, we had said that these transformations would lay the foundation for 10% or double-digit growth over the next 3 to 4 years. And 2 months back, we had announced our AI first strategy. And when we did that, we had also qualified saying that we expect this to accelerate our growth, but we would need some time to assess the potential and the impact and get back. And so over the last 1.5 months, what we've done as part of our FY27 planning, we've gone and built a revenue plan grounds up, looking at each account and what is the potential, the conversations that we're having. We've looked at the new logos that we have closed and what legs they have in the next year. And based on the kind of NN sales team that we have and the success we had in the current year, we've looked, projected out some NN revenue for next year. And that's how we've come at this growth. And the levers, actually, the biggest lever is AI, our AI first strategy. And I think we're getting good traction with our customers, quite a few conversations happening. It's led to a good build-up in our pipeline. And at the same time, we've seen a few large deals close, which will give revenues in FY27. And these are some of the factors that have led to us. I think once we presented to the board the plan and we got the approval, we thought that it's better to share with the larger public because it has an impact on how the investors view the company and its potential for FY27. So that's what led us to up the guidance from 10 to 12.5%.
Joseph, hi, morning. Sajid here. Give us a sense of how this AI first strategy is, percolating with your clients, especially with respect to the new orders which are coming in. Are they fully centric AI, or are these transformational orders which has inbuilt AI in it? And what about the pricing that you are seeing in the market?
Sure. So I would say that the impact of AI is on two fronts. One is where we are incorporating AI as part of the solution that we are providing or we are recommending to customers. As an example, one of the customers, which is an management institute in Southeast Asia, we're helping them transform their overall student lifecycle management process or application. And there, the underpinning is using AI for various modules that would be part of this overall solution. And if not for AI, I don't think the customer would have been interested, because I don't think they would have got the kind of value, because they have very disparate sources of data in silos. And for all of that to be pulled together, AI is really helping us, and you're applying a fair bit of AI on top of it for intelligence. Right. The other example I would like to give is one of our larger customers. This is on the SDLC front, where we are leveraging productivity tools and AI to help do things faster and with less effort. And this customer, we're helping them on two fronts. One is on their testing, and we're leveraging some of the AI tools to automate the whole testing process from requirements all the way down to generating test cases and automating it. And this is giving them a huge productivity uplift. We're also taking on support for some of the existing applications by embedding AI to reduce the overall effort. So this is the second, part where you're using it more for SDLC. We partnered with Agentic AI platform company, where the first deal that we've done with them, we're helping them implement this for their customers, is $1 million plus right off the bat, and we're getting good traction with some of our customers to implement this platform out there. So if you see all of these, these are some of the examples I've given, but these are different ways that AI is generating interest in our customers, and that's what has given us the confidence to go ahead and give the guidance for 12.5% for next year.
So, one question, because you have increased your guidance in FY27 and 28. There's this concern about the revenue, deflation that may come in because of AI. From the commentary that you have given, it doesn't seem like there's a revenue deflation which is coming in. It's a revenue increase which is coming in. What is the ground situation with respect to clients, adding AI or using AI now? Do you think revenue will go up from here on, or there is a different model for AI as far as revenue is concerned?
See, on one hand, when you use some of these productivity tools, whether it's Cursor or Copilot, there is a productivity increase that the customer gets. But what we've been seeing with our customers is that they have enough functionalities, tech debt that they would like to retire. And that's what we are engaged with our customers. And I gave a couple of examples. At the same time, customers have quite a bit of legacy platforms and applications that they've not been modernizing or bringing onto a newer stack because of either the cost involved or the risk that's involved in, because some of these have been written quite some time back, and the developers or the people who wrote this code and these platforms are no longer there. So the customer was looking at the risk of modernizing these, not having the understanding of not having documentation, business logic. So that's something that has become fair game now. And we're seeing a few of our customers and even private equity firms who want to, modernize the tech debt and, the legacy applications that they've got. So that's the additional and new opportunities that are coming. So on one hand, while there is a productivity improvement and therefore less effort required to do the same amount of work, there are new opportunities that are manifesting themselves, and this is what we are taking advantage of.
Joseph, you spoke about how you've arrived at the kind of growth guidance that you've given. I'm trying to understand if you factored in new logos, if you factored in the fast evolving macros that are also playing out onto some of those estimates that you've made. And also with regard to margins, what's leading to the kind of confidence on margins? Because margins have come off for you. You're again penciling in that 20 to 22% margin band, which you've done in all fairness, but they've come off from the highs of last year. I'm trying to understand whether any concerns with regard to margins. So two-part question. One is whether new logos, etc., have been factored, and second is margins.
Sure. So the new logos have been factored in. What we did is we looked at the new logos that got closed in this year, which will continue giving growth as part of NN for next year. And we've also looked at the kind of success that we've had this year with the NN sales team that we stood up during the first half of the year. And based on that, for each of the industry groups, we made a projection on number of logos and what kind of revenue to get. So we have at least a year of data now to project out. Last year was a little bit more difficult because the whole NN sales team was started at the fourth quarter of last year and got built up during the first half of the year. So that has been factored in, and we have some past data and current pipeline and opportunities and discussions going on, based on which we've made some revenue projections. And on the margin front, as you rightly pointed out, we are going to continue committing to 20 to 22%. A couple of things that had resulted in the margins going down, three things actually. One is, we made quite a bit of investment in our generative AI business unit, GBS. Even before we started really expanding, or when we had a few orders when we formed that business unit, and we had started off with 100 people right off the bat at a very low utilization, very senior team, right? And that was a cost, that's an investment. And we're beginning to break even now. So that should help in margins. Again, if you look at our NN sales team, it was a totally new team that we put in place, around $3 million of cost/investment. And that's beginning to pay off now. And utilization did drop last year to around 76, 77%. We brought it back to 78.5, 79. There is scope to push it up a little further. But at the same time, we want to stay with the 20 to 22% EBITDA range, because if anything else comes up which needs investment, like our, some of the platforms that we're building, Artha or the new platform on healthcare multiomics, we would like to invest in it because we believe that, that we need to have our own platforms given the changing market conditions to be able to wrap our services around or to have a non-linear source of revenue.
Okay. Joseph, thank you so much for coming in and contextualizing this for us. And wishing you all the very best for all that execution that you need to do over the next couple of years. All right.
Thank you very much.
Suhas Donti